this guy set up on this.
The 2026 NEBA season is brought to you by Storm, Roto Grip, and 900 Global Bowling. We'd like to thank our tournament sponsors for the 2026 season: Tony and Suzanne Raynaud, Ace Mitchell Bowlers Mart, Better Bowling Concepts, Buddy's Pro Shop, Cambridge Credit Counseling, Logo Infusion, Turbo Grips, Tech Vision, Yankee Lanes Keene, Yankee Lanes Manchester, Bullwinkle's Pro Shop, Callahan's Bowlorama, Many Styles of Bowling, Bloomfield Electric, Dexter, KR Strikeforce, Grog Monster Sports, East Coast Sports Investors, Ideal Bowling Concepts, DJBT, Island Bowling Supply, Leah Cars, Jopo Grips, Northeast Megabucks, Walnut Hill, Robert Toth, TournamentSense.com, Major Bowling, and The House Bowling. Thank you for tuning in. Now remember to like and share and enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome one and welcome all to our first live interview that we're going to be doing. But hopefully it doesn't look super grainy the entire time. I do have a green screen, just got a little lazy on that one. So I think we'll set it up for the next one. However, if you're just joining us right now, you're tuning in to the live interview of our champions of the 2026 Grog Monster Sports Trios, presented by, of course, none other than Tony and Suzanne Renaud, who threw $1,000 in there. Big shout out to them. Those people are always supporting us, as well as Grog Monster too. So big shout out to our NEBA sponsors there. Your champions, and this is not a repeat just as a post, but our repeat champions, they defended their title: Aaron Major, Nathan DeMello, and Brandon Vallone. Absolutely crushing it. They took out the likes of Tyler Hearn, Kyle Wilkes, and he's going to kill me because I'm going to butcher his name 100 times, but Jared Armine, something along those lines. He told me, I swear, 3 or 4 times, and Amrine, I think, is what it is, but I just kept butchering it anyway because that's just what I do. So just to talk a little bit about our competitors, if you guys don't know, which you'd have to be just trapped under a rock not to know some of these guys as good as they are and as much as they have as far as accolades are concerned. But starting off with Aaron Major, Aaron was your 2025 PBA Regional East Region Player of the Year. And then we also have him as 2 different runners-up for the NEBA Bowler of the Year in both 2021, finishing just outside to Mr. Randy Hagemoser. And then in 2024 to a red-hot Matt Brockett. So Aaron been crushing the NEBA Tour for a while. Not surprising that he did add his 5th title at this past event. So congratulations to him for that one. Brandon Vallone, on the other hand, you may recognize him from television. So if you're a fan of college bowling and you keep track of what college bowling does, he won the 2022 Intercollegiate Singles Championship. I have to tell you, I competed in college myself. I know what a gauntlet it is to run through the single sectionals to make it to TV, and then you have to bowl the best in college. These guys are just shy of what a professional league is at this point, especially since you guys seen the PBA telecast. Those guys are red hot right out of college. That's the level of talent that can exist in the sectionals. So yeah, big accomplishment right there from him. And he also shot his first 300 with his grandmother watching there too. So pretty big accomplishment for that one. A lot of people may take the sentiment part of that and just understand that one, what it's like to shoot, especially your first 300 in front of a relative you care about dearly. And then you also are going to round this out with Nathan DeMello and all of his accomplishments. My man is a 3-time NEBA champion now. He's the Rhode Island Masters champion, won the Rhode Island Invitational, and also has 5 RIUSBC Association titles. So congratulations to them. We're going to go ahead and get all these guys to the stage here. Let's see if we can get these boys keyed up. Gentlemen, welcome. How are we doing?
Good.
I think we can
Living
hear
the dream.
everybody.
Cold.
The comments popped up, so just in case anybody starts firing in and firing away. Gentlemen, so like I said, what we're going to be doing is just bringing up our video.
Remember, that's already a continued competitor.
Right here. Let's go ahead and see
how
if I
play
can get
lanes
this
or
to
something along
pause
those
and turn the
lines.
volume
Talk to
down
them
there
about what
for
they
us a little
see.
bit, so it's not talking over us. There we go. As if not, you're going to have my voice running back to back, and you can only handle so much of me. I know I can. So, anywho, crazy setup coming up into this. The reason I say that is because I watched your semifinal match. I got to cross with you guys all day. We had one person popping off 300 in Brandon Vallone and managing that pair really well. I think you're pretty much the only lefty I've seen doing that with some success, being able to kind of hook the lane a little bit, hook the middle part of the lane, and be able to get through what the righties were creating in the front part of the lane and still have its shape. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that 300 if you can right off the gate.
Yeah. I mean, there was a new ball, so I had recently drilled a bunch of bowling balls from Stephen Major, Aaron's, is it cousin or nephew, or I don't know, something like that. Whatever it is. I'm not aging you, but I am. No, I think it's cousin. But I had drilled that effector, started the day off with some urethane, looked not very good, so I went to the effector and just game 2, just hit the right pair, got a lucky Brooklyn in the middle, and then they're out, just tried to manage.
I was going to say, you were striking at will at that point, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it stopped at the 300. You continued throughout the rest of that block, too.
Yeah, I think the number was 260 I averaged.
Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
It was disgusting. It was just
yeah, it absolutely was.
Really
so,
cool to get that chance to put some strikes on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like having a 4K view right in front of your face and being able to watch. I mean, all you guys are very talented. You each have your own little quips. Brandon, I mean, you're so clean with it at the bottom. I think it helps you create more shape and more power because of how nice you are. And it really allows you to kind of shine when there's a lot of track in the front part of the lane. Because you still have plenty of hand, but you're just so nice with it at the bottom. It allows it to float through the front part of the lane, still manage the middle of the lane, and still have something for down lane. So.
Exactly. That's the whole key that I've always that's always been what I've been good at, and it's now just trying to figure out how to get the ball to slow down better.
Sure.
That's my work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And then before we continue here, real quick, if you guys haven't already, if you're watching the stream, please like and share the stream. We want to get their information and the live know-how, knowledge of what these guys were going through as they were watching their competitors step up and throw shots against them, watching their own ball reaction, trying to manage the nerves on top of that, as well as the nerves of repeating. I mean, getting to the NEBA finals is hard any other time, let alone the breaking the odds of running it back, making the cut, which is always difficult to do, I feel like, at an NEBA for the most part, and then running that gauntlet through some of the matches that you guys had to. So now jumping over to Nathan, since we're in talking about match play mode. In the round of 8, you popped off a 300. I called the wrong ball. I was saying that you guys were throwing that you were throwing a 3.0 dynasty, but luckily you caught on to me and say, "No, man, that was an alert." Please tell us a little bit, not only about just that 300, but that is the same pair that you guys ended up on a 9 and 10 again, and you're striking at will again. So please run that back for me.
Yeah, like I said, we bowled match play 9 and 10. Throughout practice, I wanted to stay a little further right just to kind of see if I can get a little bit of a bounce off 4, 5, 6 and everything. And like I said, I threw a couple shots in practice. They looked really good. And I was kind of just committed to it. You know what I mean? I had the free hooks. I was kind of comfortable there. And as long as I just executed, I should have been good. And
yeah, and that seemed like the right play for what you were doing there. I mean, the lanes were tight enough up the lane if you were doing the wrong thing that it was able to lay a little bit. And we all know that, East Providence, you're either playing faders to the head pin, especially for the right. You're playing faders to the head pin at the end of the day, or you're going to stay right at the track. That track zone's really hard to manage unless you have the ball speed to really kind of blend out the friction that's through there. And I feel like that's what you did really well. You stayed probably just a hair right of overall where that super defined track area is. And just I think I've said it a couple times, but the ball speed you're able to generate with that power and still at the line pretty solid and control that was very impressive. So
thank you. Like I said, I was a lot straighter in match play than it was in qualifying. Sure. I tried a lot of different things in qualifying. I couldn't really get the right shape. between both squads, to be honest. Because I figured, East Providence, you kind of, like I said, kind of keep it around the hash marker and kind of control the puck. And then I couldn't find a look inside or even to the right. All day I felt the right side of the lane was just really tight for us righties. But
and then
like I said,
area there was a nightmare to manage too. So I mean, just
yeah,
figuring out what you're
exactly.
doing, pairing them lane to lane. So the fact that we were able to string as much as you did together is outrageous to me. So Aaron, on to you. Not that we're gonna not cover this over the match, but on 9 and 10, prior to this, you were saying that 9 and 10 for the lefties was terrible, and then it turns out that you came out and you were firing quite a bit during this championship matchup we're gonna see.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we knew once we started bowling on that pair against Michael Martell and his team, we realized right off the bat how different it was from the pair that we had just come off of. We come to learn that Devin Flowers and Kyle Perillo were the ones that started on 9 and 10, so they really grooved up that cliff from the wet to the dry, and it was very, very noticeable that once your ball got from the wet to the dry, it sparks so much harder, and it was really hard to continue maintaining my touch up the lane. So I was deciding on whether or not I was going to keep going with my game plan that I used in that quarterfinal match into the title match. But I realized that the look had gotten so much worse from when we were on that pair on the quarterfinal match that I had to completely shift away from using the Troublemaker Solid up the lane to resulting into using two different balls, one on the left and one on the right.
And they look great. And we're actually, as I remember, I came down and I seen that. And that was the first time I had seen that ball all day from you. Because for the most part, like you said, you were throwing a Troublemaker Solid. And then you also had a little bit of the 3.0 Dynasty. I swear that you were throwing that one at some point. So, and I think that's
a couple times I took it out.
Nathan was doing there. So, but yeah. And well, since we just started the match here, tell me what your thoughts, or did you have any thoughts or concerns about who you were bowling? I mean, obviously you got to witness them bowl quite a bit throughout the day too. Did you guys feel like, prior to this, did you feel like you had a little bit of the advantage? Obviously, being a team with champions on it, nothing but going up against some of these guys, especially with one who was a brand new competitor to NEBA. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for me, I wasn't. I felt like we were obviously at the advantage for being there for the last couple seasons. I was comfortable with the guys that we were bowling against. We bowl against them pretty often, weekend in, weekend out. And the other variable that I felt very comfortable with as well was that we were the higher seed going into this game. And so we got a choice of when we ended and where we started, which with me and Brandon being on the left side of the lane, it was very evident that for me, that I felt like the right lane hooked a lot more off the spot than the left lane, even though they were both just as equally hard to navigate. But I felt like with where we were seated wise against them and where we had been in the past experience wise, I felt like that we were pretty comfortable going into this match.
And just throughout this entire video, if you guys haven't already seen the live stream itself, you're going to watch some shots from Brandon here. And I feel like the pair obviously didn't do you justice for what you did the entire day. I think in my head, I was still a little unclear of what you would do there. Did you ever have some time to run it back and just go through some more options in your head, of other things you could have done to try to figure out what in the world this pair was doing for you?
Yeah, this was a nightmare of a pair. I felt like I managed it pretty well in the quarterfinal match against Martell and crew. In practice, I didn't really see too much was different compared to that match. And the lights came on and I was like, whoa, I don't know if it was just the lights were on, so I slowed down. I'm not sure. But there's been 1,000 things going through my head about what I could have done differently. I didn't trust the ball changes. I just kind of rode with what brought me there. And that's never a good idea.
And sometimes it's hard to get out of that, so I understand.
Yeah, I had a phase 2 pearl in the bag, and that's like been the one that's like I'm harping on. I'm like, I should have went to that.
Yeah.
Instead of going to that Equinox Solid, which doesn't quite make sense from a like number standpoint either.
Well, I mean, luckily, it looks like you had both your teammates here quite helping you out with quite a bit of strikes. Aaron, saying that the pair was so difficult, did find a way to help start stringing strikes, even though the left side was a little bit tricky. But the real person I want to talk about for this particular thing, as far as strikes are concerned, on this particular pair, once again, Nathan, you just came off of this pair 2 games prior, shooting 300. I think you ran 20 in a row on this pair, and once again, just keeping it in play with that alert, and it was great the entire time.
Yeah, like I said, this was coming into this match. There was a little bit of confidence, like you said, just coming off 300 on this pair. I threw a couple shots in practice. I didn't really see him change, so I was kind of riding high. But just to kind of go back to like my thoughts coming into this match, these guys we're facing right here, Kyle Wilkes, Tyler Hearn, and Amreen, I think is his name, like you said.
Yeah,
they bowled phenomenal all day, and
yeah,
it was even better because Kyle Wilkes is one of my best friends, and just to bowl him in the finals, it's always a great time trying to bowl your best buddy in the finals to capture another NEBA title.
Kyle throws a great ball, and I love to give him grief, and because Kyle's he's a little tall, a little bigger guy himself, so I like to give him grief, tell him how intimidated I am by him all the time. And if you see his ball hit hard enough, sometimes you're like, that's pretty intimidating. So understood there. Kyle was another one who really kind of struggled finding that ball reaction. And not to say that you guys didn't bowl well, but I think that was a big key as far as them not moving on, or at least keeping the gap a little closer. Was managing, I think, his ball speed and overall choosing the right type of audible in that pattern. I don't know if you guys seen that too. So then we have Brandon, you're just over here filling frames at will. Beginning of the match, so I mean, really, it stayed pretty close early on. There wasn't really a ton of separation. We weren't ready for Nathan to throw a front 7 or front 8 there or whatever it was. We weren't quite to that point. Outside of that, the match itself, everybody was making pretty reasonable shots. The people you were facing on paper have a little bit less experience or less titles overall than what your team does there too, especially with Jared being a first-time NEBA bowler. Congratulations to him for being able to not only make the finals, but make it all the way to the championship match. And if I think you guys probably caught, even in the semifinals, he had, that was the front 7 as well. So cool to see that. It shocked me a little bit, and I don't know if this is the same way for you guys. You notice Jared has a ton of axis rotation. So for him to get his ball to slow down in the right part of the lane the same way on pattern that seemed to be playing a little tighter down lane if you got it up the lane, and it still was doing the right thing. I was kind of mind blown. I don't know what your guys' thoughts were on any of that.
And with all I think he was injured too.
Exactly.
I was very impressed with his showing. It was really awesome to watch.
Obviously, I think we all enjoy seeing new members come out. It almost feels few and far in between a little bit. I don't see quite as many new guys this time, but it's always a great idea. Obviously, if we do end up seeing these new members, to go out there and just, I don't know, help them along a little bit. So, Tony asked in the comments here how the pace was today. Now, Tony, this is just a recap of the match from on Saturday from the trios, the Grog Monster trios. This is not a brand new stream. What you're watching right there is just the recap of when Aaron and Nathan and Brandon took it all home. So, but if you didn't know, scoring pace relatively high, kind of as we expect with some of the trios. Last year wasn't too crazy, but this scoring pace was a little higher for the most part. What did you guys see? I mean, I know we crossed together in qualifying, but I don't know about you. Sometimes when you first start up, if you don't have the best look like your boy here did, you're looking across the entire screen, you see probably a handful of front 8, front 9s. Does that get into your head, or are you guys already part of it?
Speaking of my experience, just in qualifying, personally, I didn't really have a good look in both squads. And like you said, I would look up and I'd grind out 190, 2-0. Just
feel like it's 230. And
yeah, occasionally, those are far and in between in qualifying, at least.
Sure.
But like I said, we kind of just grinded games out, and then we kind of just rode the hot hand. Like I said, Brandon, I think, shot like 220 over himself, the second squad, to kind of get us to the air. And then
just tearing them up the entire time. That was very cool to watch.
We kind of just
something
rode
that
that hot hand.
I like to Yeah, exactly. We did. Exactly. We did. We needed it. And we also needed, in order for him to do that, we also needed to make sure that me and Nathan didn't like fall off the cliff either. We know we had to kind of like grind and piece our games together to keep ourselves getting a little bit plus here and there each game. Because I noticed that looking to my left and looking to my right, like you'd see a lot of, like you said, guys throwing front sevens, front eights, but you'd also see maybe that third team member that was putting up a 160, 170 game that wasn't really helping contribute. So we knew that if we were able to just keep clean, throw a couple doubles here or there, just so that way we can get a little bit plus while Brandon was really carrying the load, then that would get us to the finish line.
Yeah, and it worked out well. I mean, you guys were full in frames pretty much the whole time there. Aaron, I got to tell you, in your semifinal match, I thought you kind of gave it away there. I think you had back-to-back single pin misses of that 7-pin, man, not to bring it up, but that I almost wrote your ticket off there. I was like, that is giving them such a huge opening, and then they just kind of gave it back to you guys. But, man, what were you sweating it after those first two? Did you kind of write it off too, or were you like, no, there's still, there's still a little bit of bowling left to do?
Once the occasion happens, it's really hard not to think the worst. Let me tell you that. So the first thing that goes through the mind is like, man, I'm just costing us a chance to get back to the finals, to even have an opportunity to repeat. But the second that I saw the other two guys string their strikes together in order to set themselves up into the 10th frame with doubles, I knew that they had my back, and my confidence was lifted really quickly once I saw my teammates hold me up.
That's a huge factor right there in these tournaments, is having teammates that you're not only good with on the lanes, you guys can kind of play off each other, or at least communicate well with each other what you think the pairs are doing, but to be able to help pick each other up. I feel like, if you bowled in college bowling, we're going to have a team event later on in the year. And if you're accustomed to bowling in team events, that's what you're looking for, is just the chemistry behind it, to be able to, I picked up a double. Hey, man, my teammate picked up a double. I'm going to follow him right up, and you end up succeeding, that kind of thing. So that's pretty huge and a big advantage in itself.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest strengths that we've had because, I mean, we've been a team now for 3 years technically. It's just the communication is just unworldly. Aaron is such a special mind in the bowling community, and the way that he thinks just helps me as a lefty. And then Nate's just a dog. He'll just grind it out, and he just finds a way. He finds a way, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, had a tough look all day, and then it was like, you know what? I'll just go 20 in a row. It's cool. I mean, it's like,
really.
I had to give back.
So to talk to you guys a little bit about the fact that you won in 2025 at this event, did that add any particular pressure to you guys coming back in to say, oh man, we need to defend this? I mean, because it's not very often you get people that actually go through and defend their titles.
At least from my point of view, I think it gave us confidence, especially, like Brandon just said, this is our third year bowling together. First 2 years, we placed second and first.
Sure.
And it's just like, we have the confidence, you know what I mean? We know we've been there, we've done it. We're all multi-time titleists now.
That's an exciting thing in its own.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just confidence.
And it helps for sure when you look at yourselves as the lights come on and scoring starts, and you look at each other and you're like, man, we're the only team in the field that really technically shouldn't be bowling together. But so you try to take advantage of it. Exactly. You got to take advantage of it.
So, Nathan, I didn't even pick up on the fact that the year prior that you guys were finishing runners up. So that does definitely ring a bell for me. That almost makes me not want to bowl you guys the following year. It's just like the title. They're here consistently every single year. So that's 3 years running that you guys made the finals, with 2 of them sealing the deal. So that's very cool. That's a very cool accomplishment by itself. So just to recap here real quick, we are in the 2026 Grog Monster Sports Trios Champions interview. We're taking a look at the recap of what we eyewitnessed right in front of my own eyes of this championship match. We have Aaron Major here, Brandon Vallone, as well as Nathan DeMello. These guys ran it back. They did what is very difficult to do by making it to the finals, making it through match play. But defending their title is something completely different. I feel like when it comes down to winning a NEBA title, that's already difficult, and this feels like the next notch up. So as far as accomplishments are concerned, man, this is one to really put on the list. Where in the ranking of all-time bowling memories for you does something like this rest?
It's for me personally a lot higher, knowing that like you mentioned earlier, where I've had back-to-back single pin misses, like feeling as though like from that moment that there was like, man, the hope of having another title really, it seems really thin. Then to look at the finish line and see the result as a win, really kind of like blows into proportion. Like, man, that's a title that like I'm gonna look back and thinking like the path of how we got to winning that title was definitely something special than something I've ever had.
Sure. Brandon, how about you?
Yeah, this one, it was pretty cool to be able to shoot a 150 game and still put the title on my name. It's
yeah, usually that
cool.
will send you packing. Luckily, it was a team event.
On a little different note, this is the first real championship run I'll say that I've done since the passing of my grandma over the summer. So this meant the world to me, to kind of give me that confidence back and kind of do it for her as well.
Like I said, that's always special when you're able to kind of dedicate some things to family members, and,
Yep.
and especially if not everybody has a good rapport with the family, but when you do, it usually is pretty locked tight, and then be able to do something special like that in front of it, that's very awesome. So, Nathan, how about you?
Yeah, just the whole day in general was it's just so memorable. Like I've said previous, haven't had a look in qualifying, and then all of a sudden we hit match play and switch flips. Faced a really good team in the first round, Alex Aguiar's team with him, Mike Rose, and Tilla Levesque. Going to the next match, facing the number 2 seeds and Martel and his guys, shot 300 on the pair. True. Next match, we were kind of down and out for a little bit, and then, like I said, we kind of came back and beat Forey's team, and then we make it all the way to the finals on the same pair I just shot 300 on 2 rounds ago, and then I get to face a really good friend and his team, really good buddies. Like there's nothing you can beat. You know what I mean? Nothing beats it.
So, and just overall, I mean, obviously, Brandon, you had some struggles with ball reaction, but watching the opposing team's ball reaction, I had more confidence in what you guys were doing and what you were putting together. Despite Brandon, I felt like I was like, oh, if Brandon leaves makeables, he's going to fill some frames, so I wasn't too concerned with that. And Aaron actually was able to get the 7 out, which, watching you, Aaron, pretty much all day. I mean, at least in that second qualifying spot, you didn't quite have the shapes to get the 7 to go a lot of the times, and we were really just trying to get the ball to go through the pins the right way to get some scores going. Obviously, you have tons of power, but to be able to find a way to actually manage it and be able to get the ball to go through the pins the right way, and then to be able to do that on the pair that was one of the most difficult for you guys. I mean, that's something else to really kind of to help the team out. As soon as I seen you start striking on top of Nathan, pulling a string together, I was like, man, these guys are really going to be a contention regardless of what Brandon's doing, especially with Kyle still, kind of being on the fence with the shots that he was making there. So as a matter of fact, we're about to step up and watch, some of the struggles that you were having here on both the right and left lane, but you did get one through right there. And that was the one I was like, if he's able to do that on the left lane, it's locked. And then just like I said, the struggles of trying to figure that out and be able to float it through there and still get the finish, not blow through the spot, because I felt like that was so easy to do, at least to get to come behind it a little bit. Man, that was really something special to watch when you guys were figuring that out. So
yeah. And speaking of
I don't know, I talked about this probably through the entire match. Watching Kyle early on, we had that energize. And at least from the right side point of view, I know if you had something that was just a little too clean and you're a little too firm with it, it was very, very easy to get behind the head pin. Maybe you get some light mixers out of it, but it was like 210, 2-8-10 city for the right side. I imagine the left had to be at least somewhere in that category, maybe not quite all the same, but I don't know if you guys seen that same type of thing throughout the day.
For me, if I got it away from the track, absolutely. So I really tried to make an effort of it by keeping the ball inside the 7 board, in between the 7 to the 10 board down lane the whole entire time. If I ever touched the 5 or 6, there were a couple shots throughout the day that I did miss the head pin because my rotation wasn't the right way to match up with that spot of the down lane. So I definitely had to keep my eyes a little bit more inward, just to provide a little bit of recovery from my shape.
For me. And the reason I not to interrupt you, but looking at the pattern, it was like 42 feet, 20 and a half mils or something, or 25 mils or so, not a lot of volume, not super long compared to some of the stuff that we're used to seeing. So the fact that it was able to, and it doesn't have a speed bump, so it's not anything crazy. So to know that there was just that extra little push out there if you juiced it a little too much was kind of interesting to me. I don't know if you guys had that same take.
Yeah, it definitely played a little different from how I anticipated the pattern to be playing. But I just want to talk on the video right
Sure.
now. Nate is learning what firm means.
Oh man, this ain't the time.
So we
exact
learned that
conversation
Nate doesn't know what firm meant.
Yep.
He thought it meant soft,
Yep.
but it doesn't.
Well, let me tell you, Nathan's going to become a brand new bowler after hearing that piece of information, because if he was already doing what he was doing prior to that, so that's very funny. That's a little bit inside context for you.
Just a little insight, just a fun little fact for the for the game.
That's just how good he is at feel. He's too good at feel.
That's me half the time. I just close my eyes half the time anymore. I'm like, it looks like it's in the right direction. It felt okay, so that's probably also a problem. But and Nathan's he's just continuing to run him over there. It didn't seem like it was that big of a deal for him to bowl on that pair. I feel like if I had to catch him on that pair at any time in the rest of my life, no matter what's out, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, that shot right there was a little bit right too, down lane, and it still came back, so it just gave me that little bit of confidence too. So
it's kind of crazy there. I mean, this was probably a little bit more on the second day, which I don't know if Brandon, obviously you didn't bowl. I did a little bit kind of last minute decision there, but it was the same way where you didn't really have a ton of hold until you got too far and then never really saw it. But the defined friction was like, if you got it just a hair right early, it stood up and it never had a chance. At least that's what we found. Same thing with that track area. It just really took a hold, probably just because, 2 less feet, little flatter pattern, unfortunately a little further in anyway. And if you weren't staying right of it, you almost had no chance. So, yeah, I felt like it was the same kind of thing for the righties on the 42-foot pattern where, you were trying to get in and play the hold a little bit. But, man, if you got it just a hair right early, it was like either standing up and just blowing through the face, or it was just squirting right through it because it would burn up in the front part of the lane and you'd never see it at all. So tough pattern to manage, even though it was only 4.5 to 1, something like that. It was very easy to see where people had the front 9, and then it was also easy to see where the 150s came into play. And that's where we were talking about how well you guys managed that in particular, which is grinding through some things where you have, players like maybe my team or whatever, where one or two of us are shooting 220, 230, and then we have another one of us shooting 160. And it's like, man, that's not going to push through when the scoring pace is, 85 over a game. So, yeah, so you guys definitely managed that well. Something that is a little new to NEBA this year, and I'm actually surprised it didn't happen sooner. I thought it was a kind of a common sense thing, and they had already discussed this, but trophies. You guys had trophies handed right to you. What did you guys think about being able to take some hardware home right away rather than having to wait until we get to the champions or the Hall of Fame dinner?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it, and so when I put it in my car was too full. So I had to leave it out at the parking lot because I had just kind of a couple bags. But it was pretty cool. I'll be ready for next time. So I will have space next time, but
yeah, definitely got to think
cool
about
that they added that, so now I don't have to wait.
Yeah, I do think that is kind of interesting to actually have hardware. And the reason I say that is cash prizes are great. I mean, NEBA, we do all we can as far as sponsorship, entries, everything like that coming in to give everybody the best bang for their buck when they do make a cut or when they end up winning. But it's nothing crazy. It's not like we're punching out $5,000 first place prizes here. But I think having something to take home, be able to look in your hands and say, I'm a champion today, something that's sit on a shelf wherever you sit it at, what all your bowling memorabilia are. And you'd be able to look at that, and that just automatic recall to memories for me. So I think it was a very good idea. I think Justin Alves was the person who put that one together as we catch Nathan about to go up. Guaranteed flush one here. The guy's an absolute monster.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Really good.
I feel the same way about trophies as you do, Jesse. Sure. Same exact way. I look at it and I say, and I just remember the event, and I remember the qualifying block, and I remember the matches, and it just brings back the memories. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that as NEBA is able to give to people. I mean, me personally, house shots, I don't get the same gratification with it if it's a house shot tournament or something like that. A win's a win and everything's fine and great. But when you're bowling at a higher level against higher level competition on conditions that are a little tougher, I feel like when you are able to succeed, it means that much more after the fact. As we find, oh man, Brandon wrapping that 7-pin there. Come on,
That was probably the second best shot of the match too.
yeah.
But just shows how hard
so hard. It was just so
you
difficult.
can't beat bad ball reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kyle is finally getting himself into good ball reaction. Got himself into something sanded. The first time he did it juiced just a little bit, still got a little behind it. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, now you have to soften up. You soften up once and you started getting the go. But luckily for everybody, he pushed that one back just behind the little past the line of when you would be able to save that particular game for him. But yeah, so I think we are starting to get to the later half of this match. That's when you start hitting the 1-3. That's when Kyle, or the 1-2. That's when Kyle started to kind of pick things up as well. But things were still kind of tight for the most part. It wasn't a gimme going into the 10th. So at that point, are you guys just looking to manage the 10th? Are we trying to get them all here, especially with Brandon? Are you trying to force some strikes, or what's going on with that situation?
At least my point of view, I was just trying to keep it up, trying to get me and Aaron, keep stringing them, and then somewhere along the way, if we can get Brandon a double or kind of help him kind of not miss the rest of the game, that's kind of the goal. But at least for me anyway, I was just trying to put as much score as I possibly can to help the team and go from there.
Yeah, you guys both fantastic the entire time. But what are your thoughts on that one, Brandon?
I think this is the best shot that Aaron threw all match. Just FYI.
Is this the one that hit the 1-3 or didn't they have somebody in Trey Brooklyn or something like that?
Boom.
All day.
Look at that. Doesn't even look at it.
No one wins without hits. I swear it. So when those right there, that's the one that was like winner.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one shot on that lane for this game that I accidentally touched the fingers a little bit too much. Yeah, just a little bit too much, but I purposely went to that ball on that lane just because it locked up harder and went so much more forward off the spot as opposed to retaining the energy and going right. But that one I got a little bit too much of, and I sent it straight across.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of catching a little too much of one, Nathan right there. I think you got that one just a hair up the lane. The fact that held line was sick.
I threw it in the shim right there a little bit.
Yeah.
You could tell by the body reaction.
That is the benefits of throwing it a little firm. So
little bit.
There you go.
Cool. Kudos to whoever carved that up the first round of match play.
Yeah, no kidding. So you guys are pretty much signed up to run this back again next year, which that's going to be exciting. I don't know all the lore of NEBA and all the history of NEBA to a certain extent. I know we've had plenty of people do running it back at least once. We've had doubles team. I think Zach Gentile, maybe in the doubles team with David Thomas. Maybe they ran it back. I can't really 100% remember.
We've had Paul Smith and Rich Reynolds.
Paul Smith, Rich Reynolds. That's who I'm thinking it was. Yes, Paul Smith, Rich Reynolds. They ran it back, but did they make it back for a third time, or they just defend twice? That's what I'm saying. So
I think they ran it back a third time. I think they went back to back, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Eric Smith just asked. He said, "Are they allowed to defend again?" I thought only once. I'm pretty confident that you can run it back again because I do remember them running it back for the third time, and they didn't make it all the way through there. Paul Smith did. So Rich Reynolds. Yeah. Okay. So you can run it back. So Danny, thankfully you're in here. Yeah. So you can defend up to 2 times. So you can have a maximum of 3 titles with the same people. That's fantastic. So Danny, since he's in here, Danny, if they defend again, how many times has somebody defended all as much as they possibly can? And is there anybody who's done it? Could this be a first time in NEBA history? That could be pretty cool. So hopefully Danny looks that one up. You got those guys know everything. I feel like if Forey was in here, he's got the book of books in his head of the history of NEBA. I remember this shot in 1982 type stuff. Blows my mind. So yeah. Okay. So he says you run it back until you lose. So there you go. And Stephen Major actually did say the same thing. And you guys are wrapping up the match here in the background. Winner, chicken dinners. You guys are going through things. It seems like. I just want to talk real quick about Aaron, you and your partner in crime, Steven, along with Dennis. And I think I don't know. Is that the only 3 people in the major bowling club right now as owners?
Yes.
You guys had a booked a spot on the CW network for the PBA for Major Bowling. How cool is that? Please speak a little bit on that one. I think that's great.
No, that was a great opportunity that they were able to give us and that we were able to reach out to in order to take a hold of for sure. Just in order to get some eyes on the people who are going to be interested in the business. I mean, what better spot than to do it during PBA telecast on the CW?
Absolutely, and what a last name to have for a business too. I mean, that's just a powerful name in itself. To be able to Major Bowling, let me tell you, that one definitely sparked some attention. And you also have a website as well to be able to purchase things off of. So I mean, I'd imagine at this point you might start getting a little bit of an influx, but hopefully throughout the season this really helps boost some numbers. At very least, if you end up getting one new customer, it's got to be worth something to you somewhat. So. Very cool.
Absolutely. Any new customer we get, we're going to make the most of it.
Sure. Very cool. Speak a little bit because Major Bowling in and of itself has only been around about, a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, maybe a little bit longer?
It's been a little bit longer. We've had a hard store location for about a year and a half, but we've had the business where we've done a lot of coaching and helping other people out for a lot longer. And that's really like kind of where it all started.
I think the coaching is what basically forced your guys' hand almost into making your own standalone locations. That sound about right?
Yeah, it definitely helps for sure. I mean, we definitely wanted to use our image and likeness for what we can do on the lanes in order to be able to help everybody else in the community. And it only really made sense that if we were going to keep pushing people into their journey of getting better, that the next thing that we could do other than to give people tips on how to attack the lanes or what mechanics to use is to like show them what kind of balls and what kind of equipment that they could put in their hands or on their bodies in order to take themselves to the next level and compete against guys at these NEBA tournaments or at their local association masters tournaments or any events that they so desire in order to go out and achieve. We want to be able to help them every step of the way from the start to the end for any kind of need that they want, and definitely having the pro shop tied everything kind of together in order to help us achieve that.
Sure. I think that you guys are doing a fantastic job for that. It's very refreshing to see not only new blood putting companies together and getting into the mix and making sure that we have something to get to the next generation of bowling. But I think we're in good hands for that because too often, especially with some of just the mom and pop shops, maybe some other ones, but they're very into 3-round hole situations, very not into giving the customer the time, even if they're a brand new bowler. Very not necessarily into the education part of it. We're here to get your money type of thing. So it's very cool and refreshing, like I said, to see some people who are willing to dedicate their time to say, hey, sport conditions are out there. They're nothing to be afraid of. You just need to know how to attack them. Ball reaction's nothing to be afraid of. You just need to know X, Y, Z in order to kind of figure out how to manipulate it yourself. This is what it does. And if not, we're here to help you, that type of thing. So I know me personally growing up, I didn't have the same type of thing. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people were like, hey, just throw your thumb in a ball. Maybe it's a round hole. Good luck. Get out in the lanes. We don't know anything here. So hats off to you and Steven and Dennis and whoever end up joining your team for helping everybody out. We much appreciate it. Not only in the NEBA community, but obviously at large for the bowling community. So very cool for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those words.
Yeah. So anything else planned for Major Bowling in the future? Obviously, I feel like the CW Network thing was a pretty big surprise to me. I knew you guys were filming, but I wasn't sure what for.
Yes. I mean, we're gonna see what avenues we can hit in the future. There isn't anything that's like really grand on the horizon yet, but that doesn't mean that ideas can't start floating around. Yeah,
very cool. Oh, Aaron with another messenger there. I think you had at least 2 that game that we've saw so far. If you told me you had a third one, I wouldn't doubt it. But man, if that's not, you're very good at throwing those. I know we talk about it. That good ball reaction doesn't send messengers. Good ball reaction puts 10 back. But those ones where you're able to throw the wood around a little bit.
Once the scores are on, I'm not going to complain about it. And definitely in practice or in league, I want to put 10 back and split the 8-9 every time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you guys have anything else? I mean, I know we're starting to get a little closer towards the end of our match here. I think we just have a couple minutes left of it. Did you guys have anything else you'd like to say? Words to the NEBA community about your win?
I don't think I had like anything like super specific, but it's just I think pretty cool how even though a lot changes, time changes, NEBA's been consistently here, and making being available for people that are starting to think about competitive bowling or any of that. It's just pretty amazing that you guys have been able to do this for so long. It's just awesome.
Yeah, that's really, I feel like a thanks to the generation before us. Guys like Forey, Bialy, Aguiar, and then all those other guys that have come before them, and just to be able to set these things up. And really, those guys still have it on their backs. And I think they're looking to pass it on to people like the majors and you guys and us. And, Jay Johnson being a younger president now and being able to step into things. So I know I've talked with Forey a couple of times. He said he's had many conversations with the board that they are very willing and open to get some younger guys on there. They'll have to fight to make it on. I promise. You're gonna have to fight with the people that are on the board. There are some people that have been around since the inception of NEBA, that type of thing. Hold it near and dear. But sometimes growth and innovation takes a little bit of push to get progress. So especially with the younger crowd coming in. So I very much look forward to you guys jumping in, especially if the talent matches the drive to get NEBA up to that next level. That's going to be something else too. So very cool for that part of it. Other than that, we're going to have a full write-up for you guys here probably towards the end of the week, if not the beginning of next week on your win. So look forward to that. We'll do the best we can for that one. I'm not going to chew you guys down too much, especially since you are defending champions. I feel like that is just something special still. That's awesome. So
this 10th frame for me is an expert level. I said for this first shot that I was going to fade the pocket.
Yes.
And then I tried to hit the head pin the second shot. So I just a real show of talent right here. So just
hey man, maybe you should have threw it firmer, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit. I mean, maybe backdoor, throw pretty firm, get that kick off the back wall there. So, but what else were you really going to do on this pair besides just try to hit the head pin? I mean, it is something else.
Fade the pocket, hit the 5 board, and doesn't hook.
It's too funny. And I know it was difficult to see this based on the quality, not that it's a big deal, but how quickly your ball still slowed down within the first 15, 20 feet because of that early hook. And that was probably the bigger part of why it didn't necessarily boomerang off the back part of the lane. It was DOA anyway. That ball doesn't have a very huge core in it anyway, so it's not like we were pumping out a ton of flare. It's pretty standard and smooth. So I was super impressed that you got the one to go through the pins the right way one time on the right lane, let alone at least get it there the second time. So very hats off to you for not only managing what you could for that point of it, but keeping it together to the point where you're still filling frames while you really had no look and your teammates were holding you on your back. So that takes a lot mentally, I feel like, more than anything.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I go through this match and I could have done 1,000 things differently, but definitely take the credit that I did fill frames and I did what I had to do. Without those 157 pins, we wouldn't win.
There she goes.
Oh, blow by the one too.
I thought the circle was supposed to be the cheat code for everything. What's going on here? But yeah, as we're about to wrap things up here, I'm gonna go one by one with you guys. We'll probably start with Aaron. Aaron, did you have anybody that you wanted to thank? I know we're gonna do this for the letter too, but did you have any sponsors or anything else you wanted to thank prior to us leaving?
Yeah, I want to thank my family first and foremost for always being there to support me, event in, event out. They're always following me along, watching along to live streams whenever they're up and available, checking live scoring updates. So I appreciate them following me. I want to thank Steven and Dennis for all the help that they give me in the business, for sure. I mean, I couldn't do it without them. They're a big part of what we do. And so without them, everything else would just be so much harder to go out and enjoy out on the lanes, for sure. I want to thank Adam Mishman, Hammer Bowling, for providing me the best equipment that they can possibly put out in my hands. It's done me pretty good. Yeah, it's done me pretty well over the last year and a half of my career, I'd say, or 2.5 years of my career, I'd say. I couldn't ask for anything better right now in my hands to be thrown down the lane.
And Brandon, on to you. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, as Aaron said, I like to thank my family. They're always there to support me. My mom, especially, she's always watching from where she can. She's the biggest support I have. And I want to thank the YMCA, the place that I work, for being so flexible and allowing me to, be a weekend warrior. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everyone back home, that inspired me to be where I am today, and their continuous support of what I've been doing.
Awesome. Very cool. Nathan, we'll round it out with you.
Yeah, I just want to thank my friends, all my family, just everybody who's been in my life and supported me all throughout these last couple years that have really kind of taken this big jump in my bowling career. And I just want to thank the guys, Major Bowling, Steven, Aaron, Dennis, go in the shop with seems pretty much weekly now, talking about different layouts and balls we can do in different shapes. And they're there throughout the whole process. So I can't thank those guys enough. And then special shout out to my 3 coaches that I've been listening to for a while now. Dave Forcier, John Botello, and finalist here, Kyle Wilkes. Those 3 have really been a big help in my game. So I can't thank each and every one of those guys for the things they've done for me. So
awesome. Very cool. Well, guys, congratulations again. Once again, I feel like it's such a huge accomplishment to do the Run It Back. Huge accomplishment to become multi-titleist, 5-time titleists. I feel like that is in its own ranking and it's by itself. So very cool. Congratulations. Thank you guys for coming out and doing the interview with us. And I look forward to seeing you next week, I guess, if you guys are coming up to the Bullwinkles singles event that did get pushed back. Hopefully no snow again.
Yep, I will be there.
Yep.
All right, guys. You guys take care. I'm going to get us signed off here.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. So there you have it, guys. Aaron Major signing off as I decided to point it over to him. See ya. And then, yeah. So there you have it. That was the live interview of our champions for the 2026 Grog Monster Sports Trio, as presented by Tony and Suzanne Renaud. You heard it there from them as far as their ball reaction throughout the day. How Brandon went from being the guy who had to was shooting 300 and shooting lights out, averaging 260 throughout his match play, to finding a struggle on 9 and 10, or as qualifying for Brandon to still hit that struggle on lane 9 and 10 and have his opponents pick him up. How Nathan was able to not really have much in qualifying and then turn around in the finals as well as the round of 8 and strike at will on that pair, which obviously was a huge help for his team. And then Aaron Major, I feel like he's just a consistent across the board. He's always a threat, I swear. I'll walk past him. As long as I'm watching this man bowl, he's striking. So just the raw fact that he is continuing to do what he's doing just speaks to what he's going to do in the future. I feel like this man has no reason to slow down. So congratulations to them. Thank you all for watching the stream. If you haven't already, feel free to like and share it. We are going to make sure it does stay back on the feed, not quite like the coverage of the Grog Monster Sports Trios went, where it just hopped off the feed and just disappeared. We had to share it again. So it will be back up. Once again, this coming Saturday and Sunday, we have the Bullwinkles Pro Shop Open, presented by Bloomfield Electric. That is going to be contested at Calhoun's Bowlerama. So feel free to get signed up. If you haven't already, you do need to go back and register for the new date. You can go to bowlneba.com/tournaments and be able to hop through there and check out all the rest of the tournaments. So huge shout out to them. Thanks to Grog Monster for their continued support and obviously being the title sponsor for this event. Thank you to Tony and Suzanne Renaud. They have been in this since I've been here, since I've heard about NEBA, always contributing to NEBA. So big thank you to them. And yeah, so hopefully we get to see you guys all next weekend, and be sure to tune in, because not only are we going to be doing another live stream, we're going to do another championship coverage afterwards. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night, and enjoy all this lovely snow that we have. Take care.